A brand new Dacia Duster has been unveiled, and while previous versions of the vehicle have felt like incremental improvements, an evolution of the original design which debuted in 2010, this third generation model feels like a revolution. And this is a big one for Dacia, as the previous two generations of Duster have racked up over 2 million in sales. The third-gen Duster ditches the B0 platform that underpinned its first two generations, and it's now going to be built on the Renault CMF-B platform. This still allows for all-wheel drive, but it also enables Dacia to offer a hybrid powertrain for the first time, as well as other tech gadgets that the model never previously had, like a heated steering wheel. Even though the Duster has changed platforms, Dacia says that it's more or less the same size as before. Its proportions are slightly different, and it looks considerably more modern and even sportier than any previous Dacia vehicle to bear the name. The front end features the familiar Dacia face, with the Y-shaped daytime running lights and a grille that looks a bit Jeep-like to me. The lower part of the fascia is dominated by a protruding bumper element that includes some air intakes, but is mostly there for design and to be the first thing that gets damaged in a frontal crash. From the side, the new Duster looks quite different to the vehicle it's going to replace. This is because the shape of the roof is quite different towards the back of the vehicle, and the rear glass is much more slanted than in older Dusters. This gives the new model a bit of a fastback look that injects fun into what was previously quite a utilitarian design. The rear lights stick out quite a lot, and they too feature the Y pattern, and they really help the Duster feel like a modern contemporary design. And the design revolution continues inside, where the Duster has an all-new interior with more tech than ever. It will be available with a fully digital gauge cluster as well as a capacitive and not resistive touchscreen for the first time. The latter is just over 10 inches in diagonal, and it looks and feels as good and smooth as it does in other new Renault models. This is a big step compared to what came before it in a Dacia. But even with the introduction of the new screen, Dacia still chose to keep physical climate controls, which are aligned in a row right below the central screen. And even though all the plastics are hard and scratchy, the design certainly helps elevate the ambiance. The same Y motif is present in several places, like the front door cards and the air vents, and the pre-production example we got early access to even had blue trim that added a much needed splash of color. Overall, the interior design is considerably better than before, and I also found the driving position to be much improved, allowing you to sit a bit lower and to bring the steering wheel a bit closer than you could in previous Dusters. Space for rear passengers felt similar to older Dusters though, as did the amount of space in the trunk, although Dacia does say the model's cargo carrying volume has been improved by about 6%. Under the hood, the big news is that Dacia is ditching the 1.5-liter diesel, the bread and butter power plant for the Duster in many markets, especially in its native Romania. The base engine is going to be the TCE 100, a 1-liter turbocharged unit running on LPG, but there will also be a TCE 130, which will be available with both front and all-wheel drive, as well as an automatic gearbox. For the first time in a Duster, a full hybrid powertrain will also be available, although probably only with front-wheel drive. The Duster is a remarkable success story, and this new model looks like a comprehensive redesign. Dacia's Romanian designers who penned this model even had a bit of fun and added representations of the vehicle driving up from the corners of its windscreen and rear glass, similarly to what you might see in some Jeep models. This also implies that Dacia wants to bring the Duster slightly upmarket to shift the perception of it being a budget vehicle, and this is all the more impressive because the entry-level model is expected to cost under 20,000 euros. The third generation Duster will be officially unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show in 2024, and deliveries should begin in the latter part of the year.